Today is Visakha Puja Day. In Thailand, we regard this day is the day of the birth, the enlightenment, and the passing of the Buddha. In other countries, they may have a different dates for the day of passing of the Buddha. The important thing is not about the dates. All about his birth. Although his birth is very, very rare. Not only the Buddha, but in these days, it's also very rare to find enlightened ones. As the day goes by, as the day passes, the faculties of the people are weakening. You can kind of see that because these days the strength of the religion is weakening. This is why Luangpa keep telling us to learn and train, because we don't know how long Buddhism will last, how long we can learn. The society is changing, relying more and more on material things, on benefits. People rely less on morality, because morality, they said that you cannot eat with morality. You cannot earn with morality. A lot of change in the society, especially in the last 50 years. 50, 60 years. Have anyone recall this Thai traditional name, traditional song? It was BE 2504. There's a song called that is a song that came out that year, and there is a bill of improving economics of Thailand that came out that year. Everyone's living was improving, more industrialized. The farmers, they struggle before that. After they grow crops, sometimes they can sell them, sometimes they cannot. The past king, he was very foresight. He helped the farmer out. So from the industrialized society, now we are changing to tourism. And then tourism is also depleting again. With the industrialized society, the industry, the factories are luring people to leave the countryside to move to work in the factories. In the past, farmers, they have more time to practice. When they have time, they would go to the temple. And the family, they all live together. The elderly would help raise the children. The adults would go to work, and then the elderly would take the young kids to go to the temple. When Luang Por was young, even before he could walk, when he was just a baby, adults would take him to the temple. His grandmother would take him to the temple to listen to the Dhamma talk, although Luang Por was still a baby, and would lay him down on the floor to listen to the Dhamma talk at the temple. So his mind was used to mingling in the temple atmosphere. But these days, people do not have time to go to the temple. They have time to drink, though. Life society has changed. The way of our living has changed. Our way of living has changed. All of them has changed. The society that was connected to the religion is depleting. Another part is the monk. Before, in the past, all men would ordain and train as monks for a period of time. These days, men do not ordain, or if they ordain, they would not understand. They do not have teachers to teach them correctly. So if they ordain, sometimes they just ordain to just hang out. They didn't practice. They didn't learn about Buddhism. They didn't learn Dhamma. The duty to learn about Buddhism is to learn about the principles and to practice. But these days, lately, monks, they do not learn anything at all. Especially the training, the practice. Especially when one's whole have mobile phones. In the past, mobile phone would not have access to the internet. You cannot view pictures from mobile phone in the past. But now you can access anything through your mobile phone. It instigates defilement right from your mobile phone. So monks that have strength, they have to have a lot of strength to beat the defilement, to beat lust. They have to really be strong. But if they don't have that, and they ordain, they would break precepts. They don't know the true value of Buddhism. We are the few people who are learning about Buddhism, learning of how to practice. Now that we know how to practice, now we have to practice too, so we can be liberated from the defilement, to be free from suffering. Even though some monks, they learn the theory from books, but they never practice, they cannot fight the defilement. The defilements are not afraid of the text. Sometimes even the text can increase one's defilement, because if you feel like you know a lot, you may feel that you are better than other people. But we have to learn the theory. The monks who dedicate themselves to protect the text, Luang Por really respect them for their dedication and their sacrifice. Some they learn and they also practice. But if you practice without learning, you are also risking of going in the wrong path. If you don't learn and you find the masters who can teach you the right path, then it's good. But if you go to the schools that may teach you the wrong thing, then you can go crazy. Sometimes you see the monk that may say something that sounds wise, but we do not know the theory. We never learned about Buddhism. We thought that, oh, he's right. But we might not know that this monk, maybe he gave a good talk, but he do not know how to practice. There are some teacher who try to ask to see Luangpo. There's this person who like to talk about Dhamma, wanted to meet Luangpo. He has a lot of fan clubs, a lot of fans. He asked, do you have anything for me to, any suggestions for me? Luangpo said to him that you have to also learn the principles, because if you only think, you can miss the point. And when you do not truly understand and you teach other people, that is very dangerous. The masters in the past, if they teach something wrong, they will correct it right away. They didn't afraid of losing face. Venerable Luangpo Cha, when he was young, one time he met an older master. This elderly master stayed on top of the mountain, and this elderly monk master taught Luangpo Cha, and then he left and went back to his hut on the mountain. And then late at night, this elder master came down from the mountain to see Luangpo Cha. He said that, I came down here because I just remember that I taught you wrong. So I want to correct what I said to you wrong. Luangpo Cha asked, why do you come so late? You could have waited until the morning. He said that, but if I die tonight and you remember the wrong thing and you spread out the wrong message, then it would be a bad karma. So when you see that you understand something incorrect, you have to fix it right away. Luangpo just want to give everyone a big picture that religion is very fragile right now. This realm is the realm that is deteriorating. There are ways for deteriorating, like if you drink alcohol, if you take drugs. In the past, people in the past, they would forbid it themselves not to drink not to drink alcohol on Lenten day, and then later only the very important Buddhism day. And this today at the present, you can drink any day. And in the past, those entertainment places would be closed on Buddha Lenten day. but now it is open every day. And now there are a tendency of opening casino legally. So this is why the society is deteriorating. One thing is also that if you find a friend in the people who are immoral, many people do not know who's moral, who's immoral. Some do not work because they are waiting to get the handouts. So this realm is deteriorating. The masters, many masters said this years ago, that it will be harder and harder to live in this world. The world will feel more and more like hell. So let's practice. Let's follow the Buddha. It is very, very rare that the Buddha is born, that the Buddha exists. Also, that his teaching is still here today. But if you are not interested, and if you don't practice, one day it will be gone. It will perish. If you come to the temple every day, you will see that there are many foreigners at the temple, and it is hard for them to travel from their home country to be here, because at their home countries, they don't have Buddhism. So if they want a Dhamma, that's why they came all the way over here to learn. And also it's hard to communicate. It takes time to translate. There are less Chinese students now because of the economic hardship. And also Thailand is very, very hot this month. So they said they'll come back later when it is cooler. It is very difficult for foreigners to come here and learn about Dhamma. But a lot of Thais, you are already here, but you are not interested. Luang Pho feel pity for them. Luang Pho Anumothana with other foreign students who set their mind to learn Dhamma. Luang Pho went to China a long time ago to give a Dhamma talk. And then there's more and more Chinese students who are interested in Dhamma, and they would come here. And the Chinese translation, the Chinese team are prospering. Teacher Prasan is the head of the team, and this team is very strong now. So let's study Dhamma before it is gone. It is perished from this world. Although the Buddha is no longer here, but he left behind his teachings. What we have to learn is that we as Buddhists is not to believe, to just believe. Our duty is to learn. Learn about what? Learn about the training of morality, the training of the mind, and the training of the wisdom. These three things that we have to learn. Not just learning about the theory and principle, but we have to take it into our action. We have to practice. First, set your mind to keep the moral precepts. Determine that we will keep these moral precepts. So only five precepts. You don't have to hold on to 227 precepts like the monk. So keep the 5 moral precepts. Set your mind to it. When the defilement is strong, it will likely push us to break the precepts. Hold on to your precept, that you will not break the precept no matter what. And it would be better for the moral precepts, how to keep the precepts more pure, is that we have to train the mind to be aware. So we have to have sati. The sati is to be aware of oneself. Whatever arises in our mind, the defilement that would arise in our mind, know so. You don't have to know everything. No, you have to know everything. Know so when the defilement arises in your mind. That is enough for the beginner. Defilement such as lust, anger, delusion. Lust is holding on, attachment. It is the state. It is the characteristic that you are attaching to something. For example, when you see a cute kitten, you want to hold it. Or when you see beautiful flower, you want to pick it up, or you want to smell it. So lust has a characteristic of you going toward the object. So notice your mind, that it is hungry for the object that you desire, the object that you find it fun, pleasurable. When you have that, know so that lust has arisen. So if the mind is hunger to be something, to have something, that is lust. Lusting for the feeling that is pleasurable. Anger is the opposite of lust. It's dislike. You don't want that object, that feeling to stay. You want it to go away. For example, when you see someone that you don't like, you want to push that person away. You want that person to be far, far away from you. It's the characteristic of the feeling of not wanting that object to be close to you. So lusting is pulling in. Anger is pushing out. Thai people, we live in the hot climate and we want to see snow. And if we see snow, it's cold, now you want to come back to Thailand. So wanting is always arising and it's changing all the time. Sometimes you want to have this, sometimes you want to be this, sometimes you don't want this, you don't want to be that. So pay attention to your mind. It's not difficult. When you love something, when you want something, know so. When you hate something, know so. Lust is a state that the mind is attracting to the object, pulling toward, pulling in. Anger is pushing it out. So you want, with anger, you want it to go away, to perish. Like when you are sick and you feel aching, you're not feeling good, you have to stay in the hospital. Your mind might be angry. When am I going to get well? Or you can be angry at your doctor. Pay attention to your mind. Even just feeling sick, you can feel irritated because you don't like it. You don't like feeling like this. You don't like this state. So pay attention to your mind. Or another example is that you walk in the mall and you see a brand new mobile model. And you want this mobile, the new mobile phone. Know so that you have lust. You want to have it. So lust is pulling the object toward, and anger is pushing the object away from you. And delusion is about not knowing yourself. The character of delusion is that it is blurry. Like for example, when your mind is busy, restless, anyone, their mind not busy before? Anyone's mind busy before? Luang Por is trying to take a look at people who claim that their mind never was busy before. So when your mind is busy, sometimes the mind think of this thing, sometimes the mind think of that thing. It's not very clear. The mind think of this and then it's changed to another thing quickly. So sometimes the mind is busy, sometimes the mind is dull, drowsy. You don't want to know about anything else. You feel retarded. You want to regress from the world. People, you may hear the compliment, you may hear people cursing at you and you don't want to feel it. This is also delusion. That you cannot really tell how you feel. It is more difficult to observe moha or delusion. So these three main defilement, the lust, anger, and delusion. The one that can cause harm the most is anger. Because when you have anger, you might want to harm other people. Like if you hurt someone, you might have to go to jail. And also your mind is boiling, it is very unhappy, very uncomfortable, not calm at all, not peaceful at all. But anger is the easiest one to recognize and let go. If you have sati, if you have an awareness, when anger arises, like when you hate someone, you are angry with that person. You see that person and you haven't done anything yet. Your mind's already saddened. Because as anger arises, the first person who has the effect from anger is yourself. Your mind is unpleasant. Because everyone do not like suffering, do not like unhappiness. So it can be easily noticed. Anger can be easily noticed. And then later on, you may have the wisdom that anger brings you nothing good. Jealousy brings you nothing good. When you feel jealous, your mind is not joyful. Or when you are stingy, feeling stingy, selfish, your mind is saddened. That is also anger. So this type of minds, they have rooted from anger. If you see this again and again, every time anger arises, you see the unhappiness arise, suffering arise. And the nature of the mind that the mind dislike unhappiness, the mind dislike suffering. So it would let go. So anger is a defilement that is the most harmful, but it is the easiest one to let go of. Lust have less harm, but it is harder to let go. Like when you see beautiful flower, you want the flower that you already have lust, but you may not pick out the flower. It may break the law, so you may not pick up that flower. Sometimes lust can bring you happiness, or when you have equanimity, it can also bring you happiness. Like when you see a puppy, you want to play with a puppy, you love that puppy, you are happy to be with that puppy. So you feel that lust is harmless. It is not as scary as anger. So sometimes you enjoy lust. So you have to be aware. You have to have more sati to let go of lust. So lust is less harmful comparing to anger, and it is also harder to let go. Anger is most harmful, but it is easier to let go. Lust is less harmful, but it is harder to let go. And delusion is the worst of them all. It also has a lot of harm, but it is also very hard to let go. It is hard to let go because we don't see them. This is why it is one of the worst ones. Like when your mind has wandered off, you thought that this is harmless, that your mind is lost, wander off. You thought that this is harmless, no one would get hurt from this. I'm not breaking any moral precepts, I'm not breaking any law. You don't see the harm that comes with delusion. When you have delusion is the worst one of them all, because before we have lust, the mind has to be lost first. When we have lust, the mind is also lost, because your mind is lost into the object of your pleasurable. Or when you have anger, your mind is also lost. This is why moha or delusion is the worst one of all, because it's hard to see. It has to see this defilement. But when your mind is busy, and if you can practice samadhi, you can compare the feeling between the mind that is busy and the mind that is peaceful, that is calm. So you see the harm of delusion. But it's difficult for one to attain samadhi. This is why it is hard. And the head of all defilement is the wrong view. The wrong view is also delusion. It is the master of all defilement, and it is very defined. This wrong view is that because we don't see the Four Noble Path, we don't see the suffering, we don't know how to let go of suffering, we don't know how the cause of suffering, and we do not know how to let go of the cause of suffering. And we do not know how to let go. If we don't know this Four Noble Path, that is the delusion. The path is one, but there are 4 levels of a path or enlightenment. It is difficult to explain. There's one enlightenment, but there are 8 components that makes up one. This is why it's called 8 paths sometimes.
แต่ในโสดาปัตติมรรคนั้นประกอบด้วยองค์มรรคอีกทั้งหมด8อย่าง
Like when one is first enlightened, there are 7 components that make toward this one enlightenment, like Sodapanna. But to one to be enlightened, they have to have the right effort, the right view, the right sati, the right samadhi, all 7 components.
อันนี้ไม่ใช่อริยมรรคหรอกนะอันนี้เรียกมรรคมากคือมีตั้งหลายมรรคนะมรรคมันรวมกันนะแต่องค์ประกอบ
When all come together,
7 ตัวนะรวมเข้ามา
these 7 livelihood, they all come together with the right samadhi. The right samadhi would combine all this righteousness toward one enlightenment. So let's make it one.
ของจีนเขามีโป้ยเซียน8โป้ยเซียนคนเดียวสู้ปีศาจไม่ได้ต้อง8
In the Chinese tell there is a god that he has to have 7 partners that all fight the evil together. For enlightenment, you have to have these 7 components together with Samma Samadhi or the right Samadhi. For all of them, the components to come together toward the enlightenment. Where you don't know the suffering, you don't know the duty toward the suffering, you don't know the duty toward how to know the suffering, and you don't know how to let go and to get in touch of Nibbana. Nibbana is always there. We didn't make it happen. You can let go of the defilement by prospering this path. The mind can truly see Nibbana. Nibbana is always right in front of us. You will see. But we cannot see Nibbana because the mind is clouded, the mind is blocked with the defilement, with the wrong view. So only this wrong view. We have to practice a lot to get through this wrong view. When Luangpo in the past, Luangpo read a lot of text, and Luangpo was confused. How do you know many things in one mind? It felt difficult. So you have to practice, be determined, and don't give up to practice. The key thing is the key toward the practice toward the enlightenment is to know of the suffering. What is the suffering? The suffering is the body and the mind. Those are the sufferings. The suffering is not to run away from, but to know them. This is why Buddhism is difficult. It is easy to tell one to run away from the suffering. It is harder to know them, non-run away. Because a lot of people would run away from suffering. But actually, the sufferings are our body, the body and the mind. So we cannot be far away from our suffering. They are right here. We do not understand that. suffering is not for us to run away from. It's for us to know them. In short, the sufferings are the body and the mind. So to know them is to know so of this body and this mind. And then you will see that the body and the mind, they are not permanent. They are always oppressed to change or suffer, and they are not under our control. They are non-self. Like we cannot tell ourselves not to feel sleepy, not to feel that we have to go to the toilet. They are not us. They are just elements that we borrow from, that they are borrowed from the world. This body is just elements borrowed from the world. At first, this body is borrowed the element from your mother and your father and make this body. And then it relies on the water, air, earth, fire element to keep it growing. And then after you are out from your mother's womb, you need to be fed. You drank your mother's milk and you gain water element. You are eating elements every day. And then after you eat the elements, you relieve the elements every day. And then you kept growing and growing. And then one day, you cannot control the elements. This karma that leads the elements to come together, this type of karma that is called Shanok karma. It brings all the elements, it designs what we look like. It brings the elements come together that become you. And then later, after we grow older, the elements are deteriorated. That's why we get old. And then one day, the karma will also break all these elements apart. We keep observing, this body is nothing but elements borrowed from the world. And then one day we have to return these elements to the world. And we can see this body is oppressed to change all the time. It is suffering. Although this body might not be us, but we still feel attached to it. Like if you borrow a car from someone that you like this car and you don't want to give the car back. You don't want to give the car back to the owner yet. Sodabana or the stream enter, they realize that this body, these five aggregates are not them. But they still are attached to the five aggregates. They don't want to give them back yet. But they know that the five aggregates are not theirs. They still are attached to them. So their view, they see the truth, but they still have attachment to the five aggregates. They don't want to lose the five aggregates yet. Like they borrow the five aggregates, but they don't want to return them yet. When you see that this body and this mind are not us, this is the day, if you truly know that, it's the day that you are a stream enterer. And then one day you can completely let go of the body that is the non-returner. And then the higher, more understanding is that one is not. For the non-returner, they still feel attached to the mind. But then the more one practice and see that actually this mind is also not us. and also is the suffering. It is a rise and fall continuously, and is inherent suffering again and again for lifetime. One will see that there's nothing more suffering than the mind. When one sees this, one is dispassionate of the mind, and it can let go. It gives the mind back. When one can let go of the mind, everything is let go. The mind is free from the five aggregates, truly free from the five aggregates. That is the word they say in the text, that the mind is further away from the five aggregates. When the mind is further away from the aggregates, the five aggregates are suffering. But the mind that is further away from the five aggregates, it is not suffering like the aggregate. It is just knowing. It's just a knowing element that is pure. This is important. This is linking to Nibbana. When the mind is purest, it can see the Dhamma that is also the purest, which is Nibbana. So it's up to the mind. If the mind is pure, it will see the same Ram as the mind. Like if your mind is clouded like the hell being, then it will see hell. When the mind is free from the five aggregates, it will see Nibbana. So let's train ourselves. Let's train. Let's practice. It's the duty of the Buddhists to learn, to develop your moral precepts, your mind, and the wisdom. And then one day you can let go of the five aggregates, and tremendous happiness awaits. Nothing is happier than Nibbana. Nibbana is a state that is free. It is free and fully liberated. Right now, some people may experience a gap of emptiness or being free, but that is not Nibbana. But that is actually very far away from Nibbana. Like when your mind is peaceful and calm, you think that this is Nibbana, but it's not that yet. Nibbana is free. It is, sometimes it is called, by the master, it is called one original mind. But for us, right now, as practitioners, we still have many minds. Sometimes the mind is wholesome, sometimes the mind is unwholesome. It keeps changing. Listen to Luangpa's talk. You may feel that this is difficult. Luangpa recommend that you rewatch Luangpa's Dhamma teaching, and then one day you will understand Luangpa's Dhamma. But it cannot be understood by thinking, by using human logic. So if you practice, and then one day you will truly see and understand the Dhamma that is taught by Luangpa. This Dhamma is also taught by other masters who are pure. They are beautiful. If you are close to them, you will be happy. You feel peaceful and calm. In the past, Luangpa, when he was a lay person, Luangpa would take a holiday, take extra days to go to the temple and stay with the masters, because that calmed his mind down. His mind was peaceful. None of the master ever asked for anything, any money, never asked that. The master only gave. The masters that Luangpo learned with, they are beautiful. Every time when Luangpo thought of them, Luangpo is happy, happy. It's called Dhamma Piti. One time, Luangpo went to this temple called Himateng. There were many people, many important people in the society were there. And Luangpo was, and nobody knew who Luangpo was. In the morning, when the monks are having breakfast, and after what the leftover would be placed in the cafeteria for the people to eat. The people who also at the temple would pray and chant in the morning before they eat breakfast. But over here at the temple, Son Santitham temple, we don't have, they do not pray, but they let people eat and then come to listen to the Dhamma talk. When Luangpo was there, after the morning chant, all the food is gone. Because all those important people, they would have their maids that would come to the temple with them. The maids, the follower of those important people, they would take all the food. But Luangpo said, it's okay if there's no food. Luangpo would come up back to the temple hall. And then the master saw Luangpo that Luangpo didn't eat because the food was gone. The master gave Luangpo food because he had a lot of kindness. The master received millions of baht. People make offer to the master millions, and Luangpo, the master gave those offerings to develop the hospitals. When Luangpo also received offerings here at the temple, Luangpo gave the offering also to the hospitals. Here Luangpo said, don't make a lot of offering, practice more, save the money for you to eat. So every time when you see the master, you will feel calm, happy. But if you see the masters or the monk that would ask you for offering, you feel that they are still hungry, then they are not true masters. But don't pay attention to them. Just practice. Don't believe easily. Don't believe easily that this person, when you hear this person is good, this place is good. If you see a defilement, that's good. If you don't see the defilement, that's not good. That is all. So let's practice reading, observing, noticing your mind. Know when the defilement arises. When the defilement, you see the defilement cannot affect your mind. When it cannot affect your mind, then you will not break any moral precepts. And the mind will be calm. The mind is peaceful. And that will lead to correct samadhi.
โลภะโทสะโมหะเนี่ย
But if you
ตรง
break
ข้ามของ
that,
มันนะ
the
โลภะ
opposite
โทสะโมหะ
will arise.
กิเลสครอบงำเราไม่ได้กุศลมันจะเกิด
When the defilement cannot tame your mind,
แล้ว
then
จิตมันเป็นกุศล
wholesomeness
จริง
will arise. The
ๆ
mind will be
รู้จัก
truly
วาง
wholesome.
รู้จักปล่อย
It can let go.
ค่อยๆฝึก
It
นะอ่านใจตัวเองให้ได้
it
เยอะที่สุด
will
เท่าที่
will
ทำได้
start to let go and
อ่านไปเรื่อยๆ
cultivate more wisdom. So let's
วันนี้เทศน์ให้
study
ฟัง
your mind,
วัน
notice
นี้
your
ไม่มี
mind.
ตรวจกันบ้านก็เลย
That is all the Dhamma
เทศ
talk
ได้
for
อย่างเดียว
today. There's no homework reviewing today. That's why Luang Por can give a long
ให้
Dhamma
จาก
talk.
อบายภูมิสนา
Let's
อย่าให้
practice
มัน
and escape from this
เรา
world
ไป
because
แก้
this world is
สิ่งข้างนอกไม่
deteriorating.
ได้
We cannot fix this
แก้ที่
world.
ตัวเราเองนี่แหละ
We can fix
โล
ourselves.
กมันทุกข์ยังไงมันก็ทุกข์
The
โลกมัน
world
ส
is
กปร
full
ก
of
ยังไงมันก็
suffering.
สกปรก
The
เราไป
it
แก้
is
ข้า
just
งนอกไม่ได้
suffering.
นะ
You cannot
เรา
fix
มาพั
it.
ฒนาใจของเราให้มันหนี
Let's
จากโลกอันนี้ไป
develop
หนี
our
ไม่ใช่เรา
mind
อย่า
and
หลง
be
อย่าหลง
away
นะ
from this world.
หนีก็คือใจมันพ้นไปใจมันไม่คล้องแวะ
That
ไม่
the
ผูก
mind
เกี่ยว
ascend from the world. The
ใจ
mind is
เราก็
no
จะมี
longer
ความสุข
attached to the
ท่าม
world,
กลางความ
and
วุ่นวาย
your mind will be
ท่านพุทธะ
happy
ท่านชอบ
even
พูด
though you
เหมื
are
อนลิ้น
in
งู
this
อยู่ในปาก
chaotic
งู
world.
ลิ้นงู
It's
อยู่
kind
ใน
of
ปาก
like
งูงูงั
the
บปากไม่
tongue
ถูกสักที
of the snake,
แต่พวกเรา
the
เนี่ย
tongue
ตัวเอง
inside the
งับลิ้
snake
นตัวเอง
mouth.
เห็นไหม
Like the snake will not
พอ
bite on their own
บีบ
tongue.
ลิ้นแป๊บแป๊บแป๊บมันไม่กัดลิ้นมันนะ
The mind would not, the
จิตของ
snake
เรา
would not
เนี่ย
bite
เรา
on
อ
their
ยู่ใน
tongue,
ท่าม
but
ก
we
ลาง
still
สิ่ง
bite
ต่า
on
งๆ
our
ที่อั
own
นต
tongue
รายนะ
sometimes.
แต่เราสามารถรักษาจิตเราไม่ให้มีอันตราย
You
ได้
can protect your mind,
ด้วยธรรมะของพระพุทธเจ้า
then it will not be
เรา
harmed.
เชิญ
You
ใคร
cannot
จะอยู่
protect
บ้าน
your
ก็เชิญ ใคร
mind
ยังอยู่
with
มี
the
ธุระตอน
Dhamma.
เย็นก็อยู่ แต่
You
ไม่ต้อ
are
งห่ว
all
งนะ
welcome to
วั
go
นนี้จะ
home
ได้เย็น
now,
เทียบ
or
วั
you
นนี้
can
จะได้
stay
ว่าย
here
น้
to perform the
ำปี
Visakha
หน้าฝน
Puja
โอ้ยฝนตก
candle
หลาย
walk ceremony.
ฝนไม่ตกแล้ว5-6
But
เดือนนะไม่ตกเลย
Luang Por is not guaranteed because it has been
ห
raining
น้า
a
ฝ
lot
นฝนก็ไม่
lately.
ตกหน้าหนาวก็ไม่มีฝนนะ
The weather
พ
was
อมาหน้าร้อนฝ
strange
นตกเยอะเลย
lately.
ตอนนี้
Now that it is
เดี๋ยวถึงห
summer,
น้าฝนมัน
but
อา
it
จจะแล้
rained
ง
a
อีก
lot,
ได้นะดี
and
ฟ้า
it
อากาศ
could
เปลี่ยนไป
be
หมดแล้ว
drought in the
ใครจะอยู่ก็อยู่นะ
rainfall season
ไม่มั่นใจ
because
นะ
the world
หลวง
is
พ่อ
has changed a
ไม่
lot.
สามารถควบคุมดินฟ้าอากาศได้
Luang Por cannot control the weather, so you are welcome to stay, but it may rain this evening. That is all the Dhamma talk for today. อนุโมทนาค่ะ